Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the RENNSPORT Founders League. What you currently see is the schedule for the Community League. Don't get confused by this, because today it is indeed the day of the Founders League. Next week though, we will be back with the Community League at Hockenheim. So let's take a look at Season 2. And today we kick off the season with the GT3X car, our lone GT3X car at the moment. The Porsche 911 as RENNSPORT. It's a very unique car in the game in a way. Could say it's an overpowered GT3, but it's much more than that. We will see that in this live stream as the drivers now get ready for qualifying. So let's switch to live footage for that. We are looking forward to have a 60-minute race on one of the most challenging racetracks in the world, as we currently see them on their first out of 2 laps that they have. You see all the cars on track, even though they don't see each other because they are ghosted. So you get 2 clean runs, pretty much the dream everybody has as at the 24 hours of the Nürburgring Nordschleife in, well, the pole shootout, or hyper pole as you might know it. And we don't have the biggest grid today, but we have a lot of quality drivers, you know, from the other RENNSPORT community events or community league races, especially if you think back to last week, for example. But yeah, let's see what they can do in this car. Just to give you a bit of a rundown on what this car actually is. Well, I can tell you my English isn't the best right now, but apart from that, you basically take a Porsche 911 GT3R, bump up the power, bump up the aero, make it look even more beautiful. Don't know how they managed that, but it looks absolutely astonishing in my opinion. And you get yourself the 911 RENNSPORT, and this car is truly deserving of that RS badge. It behaves a bit like a GT2 with more grip, if you've ever driven one in one of the other platforms. And it makes it very rewarding to drive as well. You'll see that throughout this live stream here today as well. You can get very comfortable with it. You can be very aggressive with it as well. So we now watch, I think that should be Remco Major in a platinum livery car. Of course, when you buy this car with the Founders Pack, you already receive the platinum livery. There's also the tier above with the diamond livery, which you see behind. But yeah, very interesting in terms of how it derives and what kind of feel it transfers to the driver. But also welcome to everybody in the stream chat. And as you can see, it goes very fast. We are now in Schwedenkreuz and we are topping 286. That is, yeah, good 20 or 25 kph faster than your typical GT3. Of course, still rear-wheel drive, so there's that challenge, but it surprisingly doesn't struggle with grip on the acceleration part of things too much. So we now go through the Adenauer Force. You have to be careful with the curbs. The car is even stiffer and a bit lower than the GT3 one, in which you already don't really take the curbs. Maybe the one at the exit, but not much else. Now at night, of course, a bit harder to see everything as well. Getting onto the curbing there in Metzgesfeld. Remco Major really pushing it here. So we see the 6 car is in the pit, so he's not setting a lap time here today. But with the size of this field, it might not be too much of a problem in the race. So we've seen it before in other Founders League races. Going through Wehrseifen, one of the few illuminated places along the Nordschleife. Then through the lowest point of the track in Breitscheid. It's actually very cool. If you've ever visited the Nordschleife, you'll know what I mean. But if you want to approach the Nordschleife, you have to drive below the track a couple of times, either at Breitscheid, Quiddelbacher Höhe is another bridge as well. And below the Grand Prix course, there are 2 bridges actually. And it's, especially if you hear cars driving on it, a very unique feel. It's like going to a theme park and rolling below, or walking below a roller coaster that's just going by. So if you ever be lucky enough to visit the Nordschleife, then that's definitely one thing to keep notice of. As we have a small issue maybe with the replay server. So we'll be back with footage very soon. Just a quick check to see. But yeah, we will have a short technical issue on our hand. Hope we can resolve that fairly soon. But until we have done that, let me talk you through the rest of the season. There's a little issue with the graphic because in 2 weeks we will be with the GT Force again. We had that in season 1 as well. It was a beautiful race. And that one was 90 minutes in length. This one will be 60 minutes, a bit shorter. But nevertheless, very interesting. And then we have a new car to the Founders League with the Praga R1. And the Praga will be very interesting on the Nordschleife. It's, well, for those who've driven the second to last RENNSPORT community event, I think it was, it's very agile. It takes quite some time to really get into the rhythm with everything. But on the other hand, it has so much grip. You can basically just throw it into the turns. And yeah. Then we will top it off with the GT3 series. This time a bit of a shorter race. Of course, the last one was a 2.4 hour race. Yeah, bit long in a way, but this one will be shorter. 250 kilometers in length. That's roughly 9 laps. Therefore 1 hour and 15 approximately. So that is what we have in store for this season. I'm very much looking forward to it. Unfortunately, it seems like we can't spectate today's race due to a technical issue on all. The race is still taking place, and I see some people are also in the Discord. So maybe we can get people together there. However, tomorrow, I hope this one will work by then, we will have a RENNSPORT community event. And this one will be quite interesting, to say the least. We haven't had that car in quite some time. But here is... might not be the correct one. This one is this week's schedule. And as you can see, we have the Mission R at Daytona. Electric prototype, if you want to say so. And 2 races as well. It's a format I really like, even though it has caused some interesting races in the past. Therefore, it will be interesting to see what happens tomorrow with such a powerful car on a track like Daytona, one of the speed temples. But yeah, unfortunately, we can't broadcast today's race, which is a big shame because it looks to be a very interesting race. Results will be posted on the Discord though. Therefore, I'd say we see you tomorrow. Hopefully, we will be able to resolve the issue by then. And until then, enjoy the evening. Keep up to date with what's happening on the track, on the Discord, and have a great time. Goodbye.